Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we're having a look at yet another wonderful mod, this time in the form of Legendary Modification, being made by user TLZ. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is the ability for you to be able to craft your own legendary modifications on your armor, your weapons, and even your power armor. So essentially anything in the game that can have a legendary attribute added to it, you can now put it on there. And that, well, that is simply wonderful. And very easy to use, because of course, it's just a mod for your weapons and armor, just like any other mod in the game. So all you need to do is go to one of the workbenches and actually just create a mod. So for instance, if we go into our 50 caliber sniper rifle, we can scroll down to the bottom of the list where we have the legendary mod slot, and if we click in there, you can now see every available legendary modification in the game, and you can add it to this gun. So for instance, if you wanted to add stagger on hit to this gun, you can do it. Or perhaps, what would be a fun one to actually put on here? Ah, yes, kneecapper. That sounds fun for a sniper rifle. We can make this a kneecapper 50 caliber sniper rifle by just crafting it with a crap load of things. Look at all this stuff that is required to build this mod. You got a lot of crystal, gold, nuclear materials, and all just sorts of thing in here, which, boy, is kind of the balancing effect for this mod, I gotta admit, though there's some more balancing I'll talk about later. But yeah, you just build it like any mod, and bam, there we go. We now have a kneecapper 50 caliber sniper rifle. And that's not all you can do. Remember, these legendary mods essentially work like any other modification in the game. So we could say, go into our spray and pray, find its explosive mod, and we could take it out. Now we could do that by either building another modification or altogether taking out the modification by selecting no legendary here, which is a little bit odd in my opinion, because to get no legendary on the gun, you actually have to build this. So to take off a legendary mod, you still have to use quite a bit of gold and crystals and nuclear materials, etc. to actually take it off of the gun. But once you do, there we go. We now no longer have a unique spray and pray. It now no longer has the explosive modification, but we can now go to, say, our 10mm pistol, go down to no legendary, and add that mod into this gun now, so we could have an explosive advanced 10mm pistol, because as you can see at the bottom, we have the option to attach this mod rather than building it. And now we have a glorious new legendary weapon, all made by ourselves. And we can just run over here to test it out real quick, because, well, boom, explosive little 10mm rounds. And who wouldn't want that? That's just glorious. I love it. And as I said, this works with basically all of the different types of stuff in the game, so whether armor, weapons, or power armor. So we can go to the armor workbench here and say take one of my pieces of combat armor, and we could add in, again, a different legendary modification to it if I hadn't run out of nuclear materials, apparently. Oh, yay, good times there. But that's not all. Now remember, I said at the very beginning of the episode that this works. Basically, you can add these mods to anything that can have a legendary attribute added to it. And not all of the equipment in the game can have a legendary attribute added. For instance, the Minuteman General's uniform. Now, I have the ability to edit this because I'm using Armorsmith Extended, but you'll notice we have no legendary mod slot, and that's because there is no such thing as a legendary Minuteman General's uniform. And that's the same thing for any other item in the game. If there's not a legendary version of it somewhere in the game, you cannot make it legendary. So for the purpose of demonstration, it's the general's uniform, but there's a few things kicking about that also can't have the legendary mod added to it. And again, that's just because there is no such thing in the game as a legendary version of it. So like a lot of the farmer uniforms and things like that, or outfits, you won't be able to. But typically, again, you can't usually edit those in the first place. But yes, that is with the armor. So let's actually go and take one final look at the power armor station in here. So I think that'll be a good way to end off, to show that you can also add on to these. Let's turn the light on. Actually, we really don't need the light, but if we go into this power armor station and select, say, this helmet, again, we have all the different legendary attributes available to us that we could add on to this T-45 helmet. If I had the nuclear material, I thought I had enough resources for this episode today, but oh well, apparently not. Now, as for balancing of this mod, because you may be sitting there thinking, this seems a little bit overpowered. Besides the fact that you need a whole lot of resources to build most of these things, yeah, it is a little bit overpowered besides that fact. But that is why the mod maker has several different versions of this mod available. Now, you download one singular mod file, but when you go to install this mod, it will ask you, what version do you want? Do you want the very easy, the easy, standard, normal, hard, cheat version, or survival? And the different difficulty that you choose will basically allow you or disallow you to do certain things. So like, we're right now on very easy, so we can craft any of the legendary attributes, and we can detach the mods to place them on another weapon. But say on normal mode, you cannot craft legendary mods. You can only detach them from one weapon to put them on another. And there are other balances depending on which one you choose. Of course, the most difficult being survival, where you actually have a skill and level component, and you even need a new resource added in by this mod, which is Effect Chip, to actually be able to make these mods. So you can basically make this mod as easy or as difficult as you'd like, and, well, I quite like that, because it gives you the option of what you want it to do in the game. So yes, that is the Legendary Modifications mod, and if you would like to have a look at it for yourself, you can take a look at the link in the description, as always. But yeah, that is going to be it for this episode today. I hope you all have enjoyed, and of course that you do come back for the next, when we will be looking at yet another wonderful mod. But until that time, thank you for watching, my friends, and as always, have a good one. Now I need to figure out why this Brahmin is on my roof. It's kind of freaking me out. Later, folks.